Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I would like to welcome you to the 2023 Honor Specialist Learning Environment here at OISE. I already previously shared with you a video, but the video was outdated, so I want to take a moment to uh, do an updated video that had the correct dates and the right timelines and any changes that were appropriate for 2023, our July session. So right now it's Tuesday afternoon, evening at 7:55, and our course will open tomorrow on Wednesday, and it'll officially start on Thursday. So initially coming into this environment, especially if you haven't been in Quarkus before, it can be a little bit confusing. So I wanted to take a few moments just to kind of navigate, click on things, move around, and make sure that you're okay. And if you have any questions after watching this video, I encourage you to ask. So right now on my screen, you'll see that I have the already logged in. I'm in the environment. This is a combined environment for all three classes. Once upon a time, we used to run them separately, but in a leadership class, honestly, it doesn't really matter if you're doing the biology, chemistry, or physics. There's a lot of leadership components that are very similar. So on the left-hand side here, you're going to see a group of things. The very first time you come to this course, and every single time you come to this course, you should look at the announcements. Right? So if the announcements don't populate right in the middle, go ahead and click on the announcements and you will get a list of whatever I've posted in the past, well, the entire course, but anything new will have a little dot and you should read it. So you'll notice this is first announcement. It's a welcome to a course announcement. It gives you kind of what you should do when you walk in the course. So it's kind of the text version of this video. When you are trying to figure out what this course is about, there are several things that you can access that will give you some, I guess, will answer that question for you. The first one here is called the syllabus. Under the syllabus, you're going to find the course of study. The course of study I have updated. I know it says 2022 there. I have updated it, so you will be able to see the course of study. And your course of study, it outlines everything we're doing this course. It's a official document. It is something that is shared with the ministry. You'll see something very similar with most other providers that are doing the honor specialist or senior additional qualifications. So the front matter is kind of general, talking about what the expectations of the learning should be. As you scroll down, you're going to find things that are very particular to this course. Okay, the first modules do focus on ethical standards of practice, and you'll see the ethical standards of practice is kind of embedded in this course of study. You'll also see the grading scale by letters and what the letters represent as a percentage grade. You'll see what the assignments are. There are several major assignments. I'll talk about those momentarily. In the course of study, you'll see the outline of the assignments. So the assignments include a seminar. In the seminar, you will be presenting to the class. You'll be joining a group of other teachers and you will be presenting this seminar. The instructions for the seminar can be found in the course of study. Under assignments, you can also find instructions about the seminar along with some of the other ones. I'm kind of jumping around because right now I'm talking about a seminar, so I'm showing you where to find a few things. Now, as I go through the course, when I click on modules, this is where the lessons are located. So lessons are under the name module, and the modules are broken down into parts. So in the first one, the first module is Welcome and Getting Started. So it gives you some links to information about Quarkus and Canvas if you're not familiar with it. Contact information is something that you will fill in. So you're going to come to this link, you're going to put in, it will send you to a Google Doc. I use a lot of Google Doc links in here because it's a very great collaborative tool. So you'll open up that link, it will open up this Google Doc, you'll type in your information. You'll notice I've given the names of the teachers in the class already. So you can fill in your email and you can fill in when you plan to be online, morning, afternoon, evening, morning, evening, night. Depending on whether or not you're teaching summer school or working or have children, this will vary. And then you can use this information here to help you choose a partner if you are doing some collaborative work, which you're doing in this class. After the contact information, you're then going to sign up for the projects. These projects are the assignments. And you get to choose somewhat because most of the collaborative projects are meant to be done with 2, 3, or 4 people. So if you sign up for one thing and nobody else does, then you're not going to be able to do that project. The seminar, so this is why I kind of jumped around. So under the welcome module, this is where we have this Google Doc to sign up for the seminars. You'll see the seminars are listed in the Google Doc. They're also listed in these column rows, and you're going to put down your first choice, your second choice, your third choice, your fourth choice. I want to go beyond 4. Probably don't need to go beyond 3. So seminars are going to be generally 3 to 4 people in a seminar. It doesn't matter if you're chemistry, biology, or physics. You all can work with each other. That's fine. Okay, so that's where the seminar sign up will be. In the same area, you'll see the unit plan sign up. Okay, so I guess I'll go back to the course of study. So with the seminar is designed to be a new learning, fresh learning. So you're putting the learning together and you're going to teach your colleagues, the other honor specialist teachers, and there are 34 teachers in the senior additional qualification science course, and they'll also be your audience. So for most of your seminars, I'd say you should have at least 7 to a dozen people who are participating in your seminar. Your seminar does not have to be synchronous. Your seminar can be asynchronous, but we do give a range of time. So you have a certain date that will be assigned for half the seminars, and another group of the class will be on a different date, and you will be expected to give us a range. So it might be from 9 to 12 or from 12 to 5 or whatever. And in that range of time, the participants, your other honor specialist teachers, as well as the SAQ teachers, will participate. And if you read the instructions, you'll get a better feel for how the seminar will work. Okay. In addition to the seminar, we have the unit plan analysis. So often as a new leader coming into a department, you will have legacy work that other teachers or the department's done for the past 1 year, 5 years, decade, maybe longer. And a lot of times the legacy work might not reflect the new curriculum or might not reflect the new ways of thinking, understanding, and education. It might not include anti-oppressive practices, for example, or indigenous worldview. And so you need to kind of refresh. Generally, you don't need to completely destroy it and then build it back up. Generally, you can take a look at what has been done and then see what is missing. So this exercise is to simulate that possibility of you going to a department and having to refresh unit plans, lesson plans, the entire course plan, whatever it might be. So for the unit plan, you will be working in groups of 2, 3, or 4. I suggest 4 because it means that you have more minds working together and it'll probably lighten the load. Depending on your timing, if you're going to be working from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. or something like that, then you might not have a lot of people able to work with you and your group might be a little bit smaller. With the unit plan, there's a lot of information here. You're going to be given a unit, so I'm going to give you a unit. You're going to analyze the unit, just kind of go through it, look at some of the guiding questions, think about it. You don't need to record it. You're going to do an analysis, and that's where you're going to talk with some of your teacher colleagues or on your unit plan team with you, and you're going to not submit that either, it's analysis. And then you get to the actual unit plan analysis that you're submitting part 3. So in this, you're going to kind of refer back to some of those questions and discussions you had previously. You're going to be a little more formal in your answer, and then you're going to revise it. So the unit plans I've given you are missing things. They might have a culminating task, but it'll be incomplete, or it might not have a culminating task at all. It'll be missing anti-oppressive pieces, it'll be missing technology pieces, it'll be missing indigenous worldview pieces, and so now you're tasked with looking at the unit plan as it exists and refreshing it based on what's missing. Okay, so you look through those instructions and see what you need to include. I've also included some optional pieces in case you are looking at an alternative distribution of the course in a fresh start program or a hybrid learning model or a summer school model or something like that. Those courses look a bit different, and if it suits your needs, you might want to, it's completely optional. It's not going to affect what the assessment looks like. You get as much out of this course as you decide to put into it. Also with the unit plan, there's an individual reflection, which is completely on your own, where you're reflecting on the unit plan. You can read the instructions and you can see what you're supposed to complete, as well as some assessment tools that I'll use to assess your work. In terms of the course, you'll see a Google Doc underneath the welcome module as you're going through. And in this Google Doc, you'll be able to sign up. You're going to sign up for one unit plan. The first one's in, you'll probably just dump your names in. The second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th person in, you might see that majority of people sign up for a particular unit plan. If you want to put down first choice and second choice on the unit plan, you can do so. It might make it a little bit easier for me because my turnaround is really quick. I'm going to see who signed up. I'm going to look to see what the majority is. For the chemistry and biology, there'll be 2 or 3 probably unit plans that will be done in the course. Physics, I'm sorry, there's only one person in the physics honor specialist, so we'll have to figure out exactly what you're doing. You can sign up for whatever you want. And so you'll sign up here, member 1, member 2, 3, and 4 are optional. Unit plans could be up to 2, could be up to 4 people. 3 people is a good number. 2 is okay. You can work really well with 2 people. 1 is a no-go except for physics. You're also signing up to officially review a unit plan, which will happen near the end of the course. And I'll talk more about that much later. So you can sign up here. If you want to put a first choice and a second choice, especially those of you who come in early, just put your name and first choice, your name and second choice, and then I can take a look, all right? So that is the unit plan, and you'll get a better understanding once you read through those instructions. And then, of course, we have the critical read and review. So this is part of the discourse. So the major part of this course, 50%. So going back to the course of study here, oops. Going back to the course of study, you'll notice 25% is for the seminar, 25% is for the unit plan, and 50% is for the online discussion. So this is mostly the discourse. This is where you are going into the modules. You're going to be provided, a little bit of a title and a little bit of a blurb, probably a link to a few places, and then you're going to look at the discussion prompt and you're going to answer it. When you look at the discussion forum, please note that there are 2 major types of discussions. One of them is a completion where you read the prompt and you answer it to the best of your ability. But honestly, some people spend, an inordinate amount of time on the completion. Read through it, get what you want out of it, look at what other people have written, answer the question. The other discussion forums are marked as discourse. And the discourse, let's see them here, the discourse are the ones that I'm going to use to determine your major mark. They're the ones that are going to decide if you're level 3, level 4, an A, a B, a C. The completions are just a completion. It's, pass, fail, basically, all right? If you write a lot or write a little, it's still a completion. But a discourse, I'm looking for a specific type of answer. Once again, in the course of study, as well in the assignments tab, it's the same thing, just in 2 different areas. It tells you what a good discourse discussion forum post will look like, okay? Now, in the Once Upon a Time, the discourse was a place that a lot of teachers taking these courses were a little bit, had some trepidation because, it was just writing and writing and writing and reading and writing, and there wasn't a lot of interaction. So these courses, these newer courses, we're trying to get you to collaborate. And to reduce some of that writing, you'll notice that, and here I have the calendar opened up, and I'll show you where to access the calendar. On the calendar, you'll see on each day there's something for you to complete. And if you take a look at this calendar, you'll see that besides some of them, there's a C for completion. You'll see the same thing on the modules. When you get to a discussion forum, we'll say completion or discourse. So anything that says C is completion, anything that says D is discourse. And anything that's highlighted in yellow or has UP at the end is for the unit plan. So when you're going through module 2, for example, you'll see that 2A, 2.1a and 2.1b are completion. So just complete it, get it done. 2.2, nature of science discourse. You're going to read it. You're going to read other teachers in the class. You're going to comment on what they had to say. You're going to do a little bit of research. You're going to relate it to your own experience. You might share some of that research with us in the discussion forum, okay? That's what discourse means, and that's what gets you to the A. And then this design down, UP, that's going to be in the unit plan. So when you get to 2.3, you'll read through it. You can complete it for your own benefit, but I will see elements of that in the unit plan. So you're not doing a post here. So you'll see that in this course on Monday on module 2, there's only one module section that you're doing a full discourse. The other two are completion, and the other one is not anything at all. It's in the unit plan. As I go through my calendar here, you'll notice there's other things that are highlighted in yellow. Anything that's highlighted in yellow is something that is completed for the unit plan and not completed in the post. If you really want to have that conversation in the course, you're actually more than welcome to. I've left those discussion forums live, and so you can participate, but I think you'll find it overwhelming enough that you'll probably want to focus on the discourse that I will be assessing and that have the possibility of rich conversation. If you take a look at July 12th, you'll see 4.1a and 4.1b. These are unit plan, but then the rest of these are things that you'll be posting. 4.2a is a discourse, and then 4.3 is a completion where you get to do any one of them. The 13th, only 5.2 is not to be completed in the course. You're going to be completing in the unit plan. 14, so all of the 14th, you're going to read through it, you're going to get an understanding of teaching strategies, you're going to include all that in the unit plan. And the unit plan has specific instructions about DI, DA, and other teaching strategies. So there's nothing posted on Friday the 14th. Nothing posted on July 18th, Tuesday. Nothing posted on Monday, July 24th. Okay? The deadlines for the course. So when you are given something, every day or probably the day before, I will post an announcement about what is due on that day. And so the 6th, this stuff that's been assigned for the 6th, it's due at 11:59 on the 6th. The stuff that's assigned for the 11th is due at 11:59 p.m. on the 11th. The things that are assigned on the 13th are due at 11:59 p.m. on the 13th. If you need some time, then you could take that time. If you need it to go into midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. But generally speaking, I often mark around midnight, 12:30. I sometimes mark really early in the morning because there's a lot of material here and I want to give you feedback quickly. If it's a weekend, so see this one here on Friday. This one's due, that's been assigned on Friday, July 7th. So it's due on Sunday at 11:59. So you have the entire weekend to work on it. If you want to work ahead, you can, but know that this is a collaborative course. And if you decide to work ahead, then you might not have discussions to talk to somebody about. So if you do work ahead, make sure you come back to a module that you worked early on so you have that ability to talk back and forth, have that discourse. Without the discourse, you can't get into even the level 3. You need the level 3 to get into level 3, get a B, you need to have some discourse. Okay? So those are your deadlines. Notice that some of the deadlines, some of the things on the calendar are marked in green highlight. So things like seminar day 1, seminar day 2, so those are due on the morning. Everything in the calendar is due at 11:59 p.m., so at the end of the day, except for green. Green is due either in the morning, I'll give you a specific time in the announcements, like the seminars, they'll be due on the day of. You'll tell me what time is best for you once your group ties the conversation. The unit plan progress report will be due at noon. The unit plan that's due here on the 26th will be due probably at noon or something like that. So that gives you some ideas of the deadlines on these calendars. It is very compact. The first week is relatively straightforward. The Friday is pretty busy because you're talking about personal educational philosophies and online learning, and so there'll be some conversation there. You're also getting to know each other. So these first few days are meant to be light, but there is some writing. But then once we get into week 2, once you've picked your unit plan, once you've figured out your seminar group, you're going to figure out times outside the course, times to meet with your groups, to work on the unit plan and work on the seminar. You want to get start on those immediately. If you can start on those even on the first weekend, that would be great for you because your workload will be less on the first weekend. You'll notice that with the timelines, the pacing of this course, the ministry dictates that we must spend 125 hours for a week to give you accreditation. So, I mean, you can kind of do the math. OISE runs a compressed course, so you are going to be really engaged in the learning for the next 3 weeks in order to meet that number, as well as to get through all the material. I'm not counting your numbers. I'm not looking to see how long you've been logged in. I'm just looking at the products, the discussion forum, the seminar presentation, and the unit plan when you submit it. That's what I'll be assessing. As we continue looking to this course here, another part of the discourse is this critical read and review. So the critical read and review, you will have access to the SAQ course. It's a different shell. And because you have access to the other shell, you're going to sometimes get confused about the announcements. I'm always going to put HS for Honor Specialist in front of my announcements. So if you see another announcement and it doesn't have HS in front of it, it's probably not mine unless I made a mistake. The reason why I have access to that course is so that you can read through some of what they're doing. You're leaders. You're taking this course to be leaders. So you're going to want to be able to critically listen to what other teachers in your department or your school have to say and then respond appropriately. So the critical read and review gives you an opportunity to listen to some of the teachers. Now the teachers, there's 34 of them in that class. So you're not going to read through 34 posts or 100 posts if they do 3 per module. Just skim through and select some examples that seem to give a good pattern trend of what the senior additional qualification teachers are trying to say in their module, and you'll see some examples of what this might look like down. I have that link somewhere. Okay, so those are your project signups. As I keep on going through the welcome, you'll see the discussion forum etiquette, and you'll see the calendar. I already had the calendar open. I'm not going to open it again, but here's a link to the calendar. It's a Google Doc, so hopefully you'll have access to it. Once you finish that, and you've gone through the entire announcement number 1, right, here's announcement number 1. It tells you all the things that you're supposed to do to get to be successful in the course. It tells you what you should read. It tells you the primary tool of communication that is, to me, clayton.ellis@utoronto.ca. And sometimes in the past, the whole shell is broken. And if something happens and you're not able to get into the course to be able to access, then you can just type in that address, or you can use gmail.com in case there's a little glitch. That's my other personal address. And so yeah, just read through this entire announcement. And when you've gone through this entire announcement, then you'll notice that I've asked you to answer these questions and send that to me as a message, as an email, so that I know you've made it to the end. Because most of the questions I get at the beginning of the course are actually answered on here. This is a document, I would say it's a living document. It changes with each course, because as I continue getting new questions, I keep on adding them to this first announcement. So read through this announcement carefully, and it should address most of your questions. If you have questions though, the very first place that you're going to post it, see I clicked on discussions on the left here. Under the discussion forums, you're going to see all the forums for the course. They're all active. The first one is a course help forum. So you're going to give it an appropriate subject line, and then anybody in the course can answer. Depending on what I'm doing at that moment in time, I might answer it. I am a coordinator. That means I am actually working in July during the day as well, and so I might not respond immediately. I'm giving presentations and leading some learning in some schools over the next 2 weeks, so it might take a little bit for me to respond. If you have a question, post it here. Anybody who thinks they have an answer is allowed to answer. I subscribe to this. You can subscribe to it as well, so that way I get an alert. So you don't need to send me a separate email saying that you've posted something. I will know. Okay? So again, when you come into the course, you're going to select and look at the announcements. You're going to click on the modules to access the lessons, and then you're going to work your way through. There's module 1, module 2. Don't work too far ahead. Look at the calendar, see what we're doing. If you feel that you're really raring to go, then focus on the unit plan and the seminar. Get your group functional and ready. Okay. Those are the main pieces. I don't believe there's anything else that I need to cover. You can see from the bottom of my screen, I have a lot of things open here. So hopefully I have covered everything that I had wanted to. I encourage you to ask me questions on the help forum. I'm looking forward to learning all about you through your posts. Um, if you are unable to make a deadline or something happens, send me a personal message. If the message that you want to send me is personal, do not post it on the help forum because everybody sees it there. If it's something related to how something was assessed, or if it was related to something that happened with you and you're not able to meet a certain deadline, then that's a message to me directly. All right. Have a fantastic course. We will be talking for the next 3 weeks. We will, and I guess I'm going to say bye now. Once I've figured out how to stop this.